Hi guys, welcome to English Digest. I'm Pat.
And I'm Tom, and today it's our career unit, and lots of you, of course, are preparing for careers as maybe businessmen, businesswomen, or lawyers, or doctors, engineers, maybe even bus drivers. But we're going to talk about some rather interesting jobs, maybe strange jobs in today's program. People actually make their livings with these kinds of jobs.
Yeah, I've had some slightly strange jobs, but nothing too strange in my life. I've worked on some skincare products and did a lot of things like making sure the label text was legal by various companies' regulations, which was a little unusual, but not too strange. Have you had any strange jobs over the years?
I can't think of any. I worked in a junk mail factory once.
Interesting.
Where we just basically assembled these envelopes full of junk mail to send out to people. It was kind of a useless job, but I suppose some people use those coupons and certificates and bettered their lives because of it. But it was kind of an unusual thing to do. But in any case, we're going to be talking about some jobs that are even stranger than that. Let's find out what they are right now. Let's read the entire contents of our lesson right now. You're standing in Shinjuku Station, Tokyo's busiest subway station. It's rush hour, and the platforms are packed. You notice two smartly dressed men wearing white gloves. The train doors open, and a stream of passengers exit. The men spring into action, shoving you and dozens of other commuters onto the train. They're Japan's famous train pushers, who make sure as many people as possible fit into subway trains and thus get to work or back home on time. It's certainly a strange job, but perhaps not the world's strangest. In Tehran, Iran, some people earn a living as license plate blockers. They are paid to follow cars around and even sit on the trunks, all for the purpose of covering license plates. The reason for this is Tehran's anti-congestion policy. On alternate days, only cars with plates ending in odd or even numbers are allowed on the roads. By paying someone to block the plate, you prevent security cameras from knowing whether you're cheating the system or not. Another bizarre occupation can be found in Amsterdam. The city is bicycle-friendly and home to many beautiful canals. Unfortunately, due to accidents or misbehavior, many bikes fall into the water. Amsterdam employs crews of people whose job is to fish the bicycles out of the canals so the waterways aren't blocked. The teams also dredge up cars, sunken boats, and whatever else ends up in the water. Other odd jobs include Bolivia's traffic zebras, men who dress up as zebras to control traffic. They also make sure pedestrians don't cross the road until the vehicles have come to a halt. No matter how strange your own job seems at times, there's bound to be someone out there who does something stranger.
Okay, guys, that is the world's strangest jobs, and I have experience of the first one. I was in Tokyo in 2007. I was in Shinjuku Station, and this happened, and I got to take part in this activity when I was shoved onto a subway train. It was quite unusual. And it was exactly like this. You're standing in Shinjuku Station, Tokyo's busiest subway station. Now, millions of people go through this thing every day. It makes Taipei Main Station look kind of like a tiny country station. It's monstrous, this place.
I could imagine. I haven't been there myself, but this did happen to you, huh, Pat? Did you feel kind of embarrassed? Like, hey, what's this guy think he's doing, pushing me on the train like this?
I thought it was fun, to be honest.
Really?
It was like an amusement park ride. It was luckily I only did it once. I don't have to do it every day, so it was just an unusual experience rather than a daily kind of painful process.
Something to write home about for sure.
Exactly.
But again, you're going to be standing in Shinjuku Station. It's the busiest subway subway station in Tokyo. And it's rush hour, which means it's the busiest time of day. It can be either in the morning or in the evening when people are going to and from work and school. Rush hour, like around 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock or so? Somewhere in there.
a.m. or something, and maybe sort of between 5 and 7 p.m. maybe.
Yeah, even though it lasts longer than an hour, we still call it rush hour. And the platforms are packed. A platform, of course, is where you stand to wait for the train, and they're packed. There's lots of people there. You notice two smartly dressed men wearing white gloves. If you're smartly dressed, that means you're dressed fairly well. I don't think these guys are wearing suits and ties.
Waistcoats. They're in waistcoats.
Some kind of uniform, right?
Yeah. They're in like smart like waistcoats and shoes and pants and stuff with these little white gloves on.
And what exactly do they do?
Well, they give you a good push, is what happens. The train doors open and a stream of passengers exit. So a stream of here means that the people are kind of like water flowing in a stream. It's just non-stop. So we can use, it's kind of using it in a very descriptive way here, that these passengers leaving the MRT or the subway are actually like a stream, and they're just coming non-stop flowing, and they exit. They're leaving the car. They're leaving the subway car, of course. You have to wait before you get onto the subway car so that people who are on it can get off.
Indeed. A stream of course, that reminds me of when I first tried to drive in Taipei and I wanted to make a right turn, but I couldn't because there was a stream of motorcycles. They just kept coming. How the heck are you supposed to make a right turn with all these motorcycles? Well, you just kind of gradually move over and you can eventually make your right turn. But again, that's a stream of scooters. And here in Tokyo, you've got a stream of passengers exiting or getting off the train. And then the men spring into action. This phrase here, to spring into action, means they start doing what they're supposed to doing really quickly. So as soon as those passengers exit, then these guys step in and start to do their stuff. They spring into action and they shove you and dozens of other commuters onto the train. And this is what happened to Pat here. You were shoved on a train, weren't you?
Exactly. Now, because some people might think, okay, that train looks a little busy, I'll wait till the next one. But that would just slow down the whole thing. So they just fill every available inch of space by pushing you onto it. They just push people, so people are forced to move back and fill the carriage, not just kind of wait near the door because they, it's more convenient for them. They just shove people on, so it's full. The article says they are Japan's famous train pushers who make sure as many people as possible fit into subway trains and thus get to work or back home on time. Because that's the reason. If you have to wait, then a bunch of other people have to wait. You might be late. So they're just trying to make sure that everybody is at work or at home when they should be, even if that means having to shove people to fill the trains.
I guess so. You don't have to worry about embarrassing other people because you shoved yourself into them. They might get mad. If you've been shoved by someone, then nobody can really complain. So yes, it helps fill those subway trains and people can get to work on time or home, etc. And it's certainly a strange job, but perhaps not the world's strangest, which kind of implies to us that we're going to talk about some even stranger jobs now.
Yeah, there's more unusual ones out there. In Tehran, which is the capital of Iran, or Iran as some people will pronounce it, some people earn a living as license plate blockers, okay? So a license is kind of like a permit, a permission that you are allowed to do something or own something, carry something or operate something. In this case, you would need a license to drive a car. But we use the phrase license plate to talk about the number plate on the bottom of a car and at the front of a car, at the front and the back, which is the car's registration number for official purposes. That's what a license plate is. Okay, we're looking at the word license can mean a few other things in itself as well, like a driving license, a fishing license for a particular river, a gun license to carry a gun or something like that. But these people, they are license plate blockers, which means they block the plates so other people, and in particular security cameras, can't see what the license plate says.
Indeed, that's what it describes here in the next couple of sentences. It says that these people, they are paid to follow cars around, and they even sit on the trunks for the purpose of covering license plates. Now, the trunk of a car is the back part of a car. I believe in England you say the boot,
right?
Right?
It's the boot.
The boot, right. And in America, we say the trunk, which again is the place in the back there. They sit there on the trunk, and they just want to cover those license plates. I guess they dangle their legs down and cover that plate. And this is all for the purpose of covering those license plates. Hey, it seems like we could use something like that here in Taiwan as well. I'm not encouraging that, though. I might end up in jail for saying that. But in any case, yes, lots of people know that there are cameras all over the place taking pictures of you when you're going too fast or when you turn right on red or something like that. So they just want to cover those license plates. And the reason for this is Tehran's anti-congestion policy. Congestion means there's too much stuff or too many things in a small space.
Okay, so you might be thinking, why? So it's not really about speeding here. Now, the reason is this anti-congestion policy. Tehran has too many cars and it's trying to stop its streets being congested. And this is their policy. On alternate days, only cars with plates ending in odd or even numbers are allowed on the roads. Okay, let's explain what that means. So alternate days means kind of like one after the other, sort of occurring repeatedly. And the cars can only go on these alternate days if their plates end with an odd number, like 1379 and so on, 13759. Or even, on the other days, 2468 or 0. So basically what it means is on a Monday, only even cars with even or license plates that end in even numbers or odd numbers can drive. And on Tuesday, it's the other. So if your car ends with a 1 or a 3 on the license plate, it could only go out Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If it ended with a 4, it would only go out Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. And so this means only half of the normal amount of cars are on the road, and it stops the roads getting blocked.
Or congested or too crowded. And I believe they also had something like that in Mexico City when I was there, but I wasn't driving. I was taking the trains there, so it didn't really affect me. But yeah, if you're not allowed to drive on a certain day, then you got to figure out another way to get to work or school, take a bus, ride your bicycle or whatever. And yes, the odd even numbers are how they keep cars off the roads on alternate days. And by paying someone to block the plate, you prevent security cameras from knowing whether you're cheating the system or not. So if it's a day in which only odd-numbered license plates are allowed on the road and your car license ends with the number 4 or 6 or 8, well, you'll pay someone to actually block that plate so those security cameras won't be able to know that you're cheating the system. A security camera, of course, is what we have here. They're kind of similar to surveillance cameras, which are kind of all over the place nowadays. But these cameras take pictures of cars, and then you get a ticket in the mail. Oh, you were a bad boy. You broke the law here. So
drove on the wrong day.
Yeah, exactly. So if you have someone blocking that plate, hey, you don't have to pay a fine.
Exactly. So that's another really bizarre job. We're going to listen to some more in a few moments. But right now, we're going to listen to our Chinese teacher, who's got a perfectly normal job.
Hello everyone, my name is Tina. 我们今天要看一下世界上一些很奇特的工作。首先一刚开始呢，它的场景是东京的地铁车站。第一个空格的句子提到 It's rush hour and the platforms are blank one. 在 be 动词后面当然要加的是一个形容词咯。这个时段是尖峰时刻，所以电车的月台则是人满为患，挤得水泄不通。所以搭配文意，第一题的标准答案就可以选择 K 选项的 packed， 在这里就是有拥挤塞满的意思。第二个空格的句子呢，在这里看到了这两个人 The men spring into action, shoving you and dozens of other blank two onto the train. 这两个人呢开始行动，把你跟数个一样是搭地铁通勤的人都推上电车。所以呢，搭配前后文意，在这里的第二个空格，我们可以选择 G 选项的 commuters， 代表着就是通勤者的意思。那这两个人就叫做 train pushers， 也就是所谓的地铁推手。他们的工作是做什么呢？ 第3个空格后半段就提到 train pushers who make sure as many people as possible blank 3 into subway trains. 他们的工作就是要把你推进去电车，为了要确保尽可能的多人可以呢塞进去地铁车厢里面。所以第3题我们可以选择 B 选项的 fit。Fit into 就是有塞進去、融入進去的意思。第4個空格的句子講到的是另外一個很特別的職業。In Tehran, Iran, some people earn a and blank 4 as license plate blockers. 这些人的工作呢，就是来阻挡车牌，那他是靠这个来营生，维持生计。在英文里面我们说 make a living 或是 earn a living， 所以第4题的标准答案就可以选择 D living。 而呢他们的工作就是坐在后车厢上面做什么事呢？ All for the purpose of blank 5 license plates. 顾名思义呢，就是坐在后车厢上面，然后为了什么目的？要遮住车牌号码咯。所以第5题可以选择 H 选项的 covering。 Cover 也就是有遮盖、掩饰的意思。为什么要这么做？当然是希望能够开车进城市咯。第6个空格的句子提到 By paying someone to block the plate, you blank 6 security cameras from knowing whether you are cheating the system or not. 因为只能单数的车牌号码或双数才可以开进城市，那借由付钱请这个车牌阻挡员呢帮你遮住你的车牌，那么就可以避免让这个安全的照相机监视器知道你是不是有作弊咯。在这里我们可以说 prevent from， 也就是有防止跟避免的意思。所以第6题的标准答案就选择 L prevent。
It's time now to take a little bit of a break, but please stay tuned. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Again, today we're talking about the world's strangest jobs. We talked about these guys in Tokyo who shove people onto trains. We also talked about license plate blockers in Tehran, Iran. Well, let's talk about another bizarre occupation which can be found in Amsterdam, which is the largest city in the Netherlands. It's famous for its canals and the Anne Frank Museum and stuff like that. It is a bizarre occupation that we're going to talk about. Something is bizarre when it's kind of strange and unusual, especially if it's kind of peculiar, okay? A person can be strange, people can be unusual, but bizarre means they're kind of strange for a particular reason.
Yeah, and we're talking about an occupation, so a job, basically, your career. A bizarre occupation just means a really strange job, okay? You could ask someone, what's your occupation? That's kind of like saying, what's your job? What do you do for a living? Now, the city, as Tom mentioned, is bicycle-friendly. People who've been to Amsterdam will know that a lot of people get around using their bikes. It's just really easy. There are free bike programs and all sorts. People just go there and ride around to visit things. And the city is also home to many beautiful canals. A canal is a man-made waterway. It's kind of like they've cut roads through the city and filled them with water so that people can get around by boat, and they're also very beautiful so people can stand and look. Venice is another city well known for the canals between the buildings. They're not so much man-made because the city was built on islands and on the water. Amsterdam is right next to the coast. It's quite a wet area. The land is quite low, so there's lots of water in there. And so there are these man-made canals to help people get around the city.
on boats and such. And unfortunately, due to accidents or misbehavior, many bikes fall into the water. So this does happen. Somebody might be riding their bike too fast and suddenly they just kind of crash over the railing and their bike flies down into the water. Or you've got some naughty Dutch kids who think it's a cute little joke to take a bunch of bikes and throw them into the canal. Ha, ha, ha. Isn't that wonderful? So, yes, indeed, this is due to accidents or misbehavior, which is what I just described there. The naughty boys misbehaving, being naughty, and throwing those bikes into the water. And as you might imagine, that can cause problems for river or canal transportation.
Exactly. You don't want to block the boats that go up there and cause damage, hold them and make them sink. So Amsterdam employs crews of people whose job is to fish the bicycles out of the canals so the waterways aren't blocked. To employ someone means you pay somebody to do a particular job or service. And a crew is a work group, kind of like a unit of workers. We talk about a ship's crew. We talk about the cabin crew, who are all the people who work on an airplane. Here we've got a crew of people who go around on boats, and their job is to fish the bicycles out of the canals. So to fish something out of somewhere means to kind of take something out of liquid as if you were kind of like pulling a fish out of the water. So they don't exactly use a fishing line, but they are dipping into the water with machines and hooks and other things, and they are fishing up these bikes. Okay, so they're just kind of going, okay, there's a bike, we can see them down there, or our hooks have touched them down there, or our sticks in the water have touched one. Let's use our crane or our bits of rope to pull the bike out of the water and unblock it so it doesn't cause a problem.
Right. Of course, there are lots of tourist boats going through those canals and stuff, so you got to get those bikes out of the way. And the teams also dredge up cars, sunken boats, and whatever else ends up in the water. Again, we're talking about crews of people. Remember, the word crew refers to a group of people, so don't refer to the individual members of a crew as crews. A crew is a separate group of people. So we've got different teams or different crews of people who fish those bikes out of the canals, and they also dredge up cars. If you dredge something up, that means you pull it up out of the water, but the word dredge here kind of means that it's taking a little longer to do this, and the water kind of has to come out of the thing. Like a car, the water has to drain out, and there might be mud involved, and it might be dirty. So yeah, it's a longer process than simply fishing something out of a canal.
Yeah, it's much easier to pull out a bicycle, but a car, it could be stuck. Dredge often means to kind of go along the bottom, so that's why there's a lot of mud and stuff like that. And it's not just cars, there are sunken boats. Here, the word sunken is an adjective used to mean that something has sunk or it sank into the water. There's a verb sink, past tense sank, PP is sunk, and then sunken is the adjective to describe something that's sank, and that has sunk and has gone all the way to the bottom. Like some boats will do if they get a hole in or if there's bad weather, they're too heavy. So they are sunken boats, boats that have sank to the bottom of these canals, and also they pick up whatever else has ended up in the water. All sorts of things could end up in the canals, so they need to be pulled out, and that is what these crews of people do.
Yes, indeed. Sometimes those boats run into icebergs in the canals, and then they sink.
Yeah, in winter.
And the people, of course, can't be rescued in time, so they have to fish those boats or dredge them up, and the canals are nice and clear for other boats to go through them. Now, let's go to South America now. We're going to Bolivia. Other odd jobs include Bolivia's traffic zebras, who are men who dress up as zebras to control traffic. Remember, a zebra is a horse-like animal that has black and white stripes. And I guess if you dress up like a zebra, it will catch people's attention because the contrast between the black and white stripes is very noticeable.
The other reason they do it, of course, is a black and white crossing over a road is known as a zebra crossing. So those places where it's safe to walk, they always paint big black and white thick bars on there to show where people are supposed to walk, pedestrians. So that's why they use zebras as the particular animal, because it's kind of a traffic-themed thing. Now, these zebras, they, as well as controlling traffic by telling cars where to go, they also make sure pedestrians don't cross the road until the vehicles have come to a halt. So, as well as kind of looking after the drivers, they're looking after the people and making sure no one gets hurt. Because a pedestrian is someone who walks, someone who is walking around, not in a car, not on a bike, it's a walker. And so they're making sure those guys are okay because they can't cross the road until the vehicles have halted.
That's right. So here in Taiwan, of course, they use the little green man or the red man to tell you can't cross the street. But there they use zebras. I guess people in Bolivia just want to cross that road and they don't care if there's a little red man there telling them they can. So yes, indeed, the vehicles need to come to a halt before those pedestrians can cross the road. And no matter how strange your own job seems at times, there's bound to be someone out there who does something stranger. Yes, indeed, you might think your job is kind of weird, sweeping the streets or planting flowers in a garden or something like that. But hey, there are stranger jobs out there in the world than what you're doing, so be thankful for what you've got.
Yes, it says no matter how strange your job seems at times, there's bound to be someone who does something stranger. Bound to be, there is sure to be, there is certain to be. Here the word bound to kind of means there is sure to. It's a certainty. So that's why we use that. There is bound to be someone out there who does something stranger. You can guarantee it. Well, what we can guarantee you now is that it's time for our Chinese teacher. So let's hand you over and then we'll return to finish things off today.
下一个古怪的职业呢，是在 Amsterdam， 也就是在阿姆斯特丹。这些人呢，是专门去捞这个掉到河里面的自行车。Unfortunately, due to accidents or blank 7, many bikes fall into the water. 在这里提到，有时候是因为意外事故，有时候是因为呢不当的举止，所以造成了很多的自行车掉进了水里。在这里的 or 是对等连接词，连接 accidents or 另外一个名词。搭配文意，我们可以选择 F 选项的 misbehavior， 指的是不当的举止。而他们的工作是什么呢？ Amsterdam employs crews of people blank 8. Job is to fish the bicycles out of the canals. 他们的工作呢，就是要把这些脚踏车从运河当中把它捞上来。在这里搭配这些一群一群的人，他们的工作是从事后面的动作，所以我们用了 whose 在这里关系代名词来连接前后两句他们的工作，所以第8题的标准答案就选择 A whose。 第9个空格的句子写到 The teams also dredge up cars, sunken boats, and blank 9 else ends up in the water. 当然我们的目的是要捞脚踏车，有时候呢也会捞出汽车、沉船，还有任何反正最后是掉到水里面的东西都有可能。所以第9格搭配文意，我们可以选择E选项的 whatever， 用 whatever else ends up in the water 来代表任何最后掉到水里面的东西都可以把它捞起来。第10个空格 They also make sure pedestrians don't cross the road until the vehicles have come to a and blank 10. 这些人啊，他们是交通斑马，他们的工作就是要确保车辆怎么样，行人才可以穿越马路。当然，车辆必须要停止，行人才可以穿越马路咯。所以搭配文意，在这里第10格，我们可以选择 J 选项的 halt， come to a halt， 也就是有停止的意思。以上就是今天的课文讲解，谢谢收听。
Okay, so that is the end of our article. Now, every now again, and now and then in my life, I've thought this is a pretty strange thing to be doing for money, for work, but nothing I've done is as strange as any of these particular jobs.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to do any of these jobs, so I'm pretty thankful for the job I've got right now, and I think all of you should be as well for your jobs. And that brings us to the end of our program for today. Thanks so much for joining us, and please join us again next time. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
And I'm Pat. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.